Hello and welcome to WhatCulture Wrestling. I am Andrew Pollard. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment on this video. I'm joined, of course, you can see by the glorious visage there, by Mr. Orlando Colon, now formerly Primo in the WWE, the former tag team champion, the current WWC Universal Heavyweight Champion. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man, under the situation and the circumstances that the whole world is under right now. So we're hanging in there, doing pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing to talk about will be your WWE release that came last, as we're recording this. Oh, we're in June now, so not last month. Technically, April the 15th, I think, was that kind of infamous day. But you mean the last match we saw from you was kind of a year before that in terms of WWE. But you have been working for WWC in Puerto Rico for that time. I just want to touch on how that arrangement came about. Obviously, yourself, you have those ties to WWC, but it's not. You don't really normally see WWE allowing contracted talent to work elsewhere.
Yeah, right. That's a pretty unique thing that we had going on, and it's not just me and Primo. It was also Carlito. When we signed our deal, my uncle was able to work out a deal with Vince, a handshake deal, which is said if we don't have any dates that conflict with WWE's schedule, we're free to go and work for my uncle and Carlito's dad and Primo's dad in Puerto Rico. So that was never an issue. So, I mean, we weren't being used since 2018. So me and Primo said, let's just go to Puerto Rico and have fun and get back in shape, because we weren't doing anything at the time. Primo had knee surgery, then I went down with a shoulder injury, so I needed surgery. So after that, we just did one SmackDown TV. I think it was in Canada, and that was about it. So we said, let's just go to Puerto Rico. I mean, it's not our fault, we have that deal. Let's take advantage of the deal. So.
Yeah, well, it must be kind of frustrating for you guys when, especially if there's times when you're both kind of fit for action, no injury niggles, and you're not being used at all, or you're being held off TV. Do you have that out there where you can go and work in Puerto Rico, whereas other people don't? They just hear the stories of people who are stuck in catering or just turning up to each week's TV to not be used, or maybe get a dark match here or there, and that's it. How frustrating was that at times for you?
I mean, at the beginning, me and Primo have been here for over 10 years. So at the beginning, it was very frustrating. We were tag team champions for a while. And then when we lost the titles, then everything kind of like, they just put us to a side, you know what I mean? So catering, if you will. And we would pitch ideas for about 4 years. I mean, let's do this, let's do that. Come on, we were very, very proactive. But then there just comes a point where you just, okay, up to what point I'm losing my mind. I'm getting home all frustrated. My wife would see me frustrated. My son would see me frustrated. I was like, well, why am I getting frustrated? It's obviously out of my hands. I'm giving them ideas. If they don't want to use me, well, then so be it. It comes to a point where you're just like, you know what? They're paying me a great amount of money. So I'm just going to sit back and just chill, enjoy my family, enjoy my money. So around 2015, 2016, we already mentally checked out. We gave up. You know what? I'm not going to waste my time and energy trying to pitch ideas if they're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? And I don't have anything against them. That's just the way that they work. When new talent sign a WWE contract, you have to realize that it doesn't matter what you've done in the past in the independent circuit. It really doesn't matter. When you go to WWE, it's a clean slate. If you're lucky enough, they kind of take aspects of your gimmick or your character, and then they'll be able to put it on TV. But at the end of the day, we are there to fill some roles. They have some certain characters that they want on TV, so we're just there to portray those roles. As a talent, if you realize and you're cool with that, then you're going to have a good time and a good career in WWE. But if you come with the mentality that, I had this name, I was a champion, so many promotions, I should be doing the same thing in WWE, and when you get there and you realize it's not the way it is, and you're doing dark matches. It's pretty hard for some talent, and it's frustrating, But you just have to hang in there, and that's the way that they work, They're the biggest company in the world, and they're there for a reason. So.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of like you kind of alluded to there. It's doubly frustrating when you're at a point where you're going to them with ideas all the time and still nothing's happening. Like, what sort of is there any particular ideas you can think of that you pitched to the writing team at all?
Well, we did a ton of ideas, but there was one in particular. Remember when we were doing the Matador character?
Yeah.
Well, that Matador gimmick, a long story short, it was supposed to be a 2-month program to work with Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara, the first Sin Cara. Mm-hmm. Well, we would end up doing like a mask versus mask, and they would win, which, Primo, just to continue that storyline. It wasn't a change of gimmick. It was just like a period for 2 months where we would just put the mask on. Everybody knew it was us. Something to add to the storyline. But they never went with it, and then they go, oh, you're gonna have a midget. You're gonna have a mascot. I was like, oh, damn, you're gonna, I was like, okay, there goes that. Mm-hmm. But then when we realized it was Masquerita Sagrada, I was like, wait a minute, there might be something there. He's the biggest, the greatest mini wrestler in the history of this business, in my opinion. He can do incredible things. So we were kind of like, at the beginning, we're like, this might work out for the character, the mask, the kids. Then you got Torito. It might be very good. And then a couple months, they kind of pushed us, and then we weren't moving anywhere. And then it was like, oh, here we go. And then Torito would go in and pitch ideas. Hey, I can do this. I can do flips. I can do that. And then, no, it just doesn't work. It's this, if you do it in the match, it would be a DQ. And then they just kept putting just roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And not for us, but for Torito, then if you're going to put him, in handcuffs, then why would you sign him?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the best moment for Torito was the WLC match.
Yeah, totally.
And that was a great little match with him and Hornswoggle. But that was it. That they basically brought him in just to do that and to be a mascot. And he's so much better than just to be a mascot or a manager, Yeah. So anyways, we did our anniversary show in Puerto Rico. And they were doing an iPay-per-view. Even though we had the deal with WWE, we didn't want to push the envelope on being on pay-per-view. So we told my uncle, hey, can you put us either opening match before the pay-per-view, or maybe after the show, like as a dark match, but don't put us on the pay-per-view. So he goes, yeah, we'll put you guys last. I'm like, oh damn it, like a kid gimmick for kids. Yeah. We should be opening the show, because kids, at the end of the car, people are going to be tired.
Yeah.
So anyways, we had a good match, but then we had Los Boricuas come in and attack us, Castillo and Miguel Perez. They leave us laying, and kind of the finish of the pay-per-view was kind of flat. So me and Phil was like, and we're laying there. I was like, what do we do? Like, we can't end the pay-per-view like this, And then he goes to the referee, he goes, just give me the mic. We'll cut a promo and kind of send him home happy. As we're cutting the promo, we looked at pretty much like, and we looked at each other. We have the mask on. We're in Puerto Rico. It's like, we feel like idiots. Like, we're Puerto Rican. They know it's, the last name, the Colon dynasty. It carries weight. And here we are hiding our faces. And then me and Primo was like, should we do it? I don't know. Should we do it? Oh, fuck it. Let's do it. And then we took the hoods off. And then the whole building erupted. I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome. We go to the back, and my uncle's like, what did you guys do? You guys are going to get me heat. You guys are going to get heat. You never go against the current, Never bite the hand that feeds. Just like, whatever. Yeah. Like, at that time, we weren't doing anything anyway. So we fly to Houston the next morning for TV, and I was like, all right, who's going to stooge us off? So we knew they're going to call us to the office. Hey, why'd you guys do this? So I'm like, all right, whatever. We get to the building. I was like, all right, how long are we going to last before they call us to the office to, to rip us a new one, So we get there, and we're changing in the locker room, and one of the producers comes, hey, you guys were talked pretty heavy at the production meeting today. I was like, oh, go figure. And I'm thinking, so that was quick. So who was the stooge? Who stooged it off? Because I'm sure somebody went to the production meeting and said, hey, the Puerto Ricans took the mask off, and that's a no-no. You should fine them or fire them or, job them out. Well, we've been jobbed out at that time anytime. So there's no, you know what I mean? We didn't care about putting people over or not. We never had an issue with that. But we were curious to know who was going to be the stooge. So, but then the producer comes in, tells us, I was like, all right, whatever. Then one of the camera guys comes, hey, Vince was really high on you guys. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't get it. I was like, what do you mean? Like, he was high on us? Well, what you guys did in Puerto Rico, he saw it as ballsy. Like, he appreciates guys who have, who just have an attitude. You guys have balls.
Yeah.
Like, all right, whatever. And then I think it was Michael Hayes. He goes, what you guys did in Puerto Rico last night, Vince, like, he really liked it. He digs it. If I were you, if you want to pitch ideas, today's the day because he's really high on you guys. I'm like, all right. So we pitched his idea to bring back Carlito in the mix. He's like, we've always wanted to do something us three,
Yeah.
And Michael Hayes was at the meeting, me, Primo, even Torito was in it, and we were pitching ideas for him. And Vince was like, wow, so Carlito wants to work. I was like, yeah, it's whatever happened between, you and him, it's like, it's in the past, he wants to work. It's like, all right. And we pitched this idea, which about, people are getting beat up in the back. You don't know who it is. Then you start seeing people with like hooded sweatshirt. You couldn't see their faces, but on a weekly basis, you see a ton of getting beat up. And then all of a sudden you see a boat in Miami. Then you kind of see a silhouette of Primo and Epico. And then somebody holding an apple where you kind of give us, but it was like a super, and he loved it.
Yeah.
That's a badass idea. Let's work on that. So we were working with writers developing this idea, and they were all for it. But then they started putting again the roadblocks. I'm like, oh God, here we go again. No, well, we can't beat people in the back because we don't have that big of a roster. I was like, big of a roster? We have over 100 guys between Raw and SmackDown, plus all the guys in NXT. Don't tell me that we don't have that big of a roster. We don't have bodies. Yeah. Like, that's the biggest BS that we can hear, A few months go by. Then we're like, all right, we're kind of getting tired of this. And it's like, talk to Carlito, have you heard anything? It's like, not really. Then we go to the talent relations, like, what happened with Carlito? Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. Well, we talked to Vince, and he said yes. Well, like, he never got back to us. And it happens to be that the talent relations office was across the hallway from Vince's office. And we had that, Vince liked us, I guess, and he always had time to talk to us whenever we needed a meeting. So we never, we were cool with him. So we picked up the talent relations guy, and we go, let's talk to Vince right now. He didn't want to do it. He was nervous. So we just told him to Vince's office. Vince was on the phone, and he go, hey, boss, what are we doing with Carlito? Like, yeah, your name. He goes, oh, yeah. And I told him, call him. It doesn't get, you get it from the boss, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not do it? Oh, yeah. So they called him this and that, but they offered him like a super, they just like, we don't want you, but we'll give you this shitty contract. Just either take it or leave it. Because, well, I don't need WWE. For that money, I don't need you, really. I'm good, And that's when we said, you know what? And we said, and then we were going to continue with the idea, but without Carlitos. You know what? Well, business is business. It's fair. As long as, we get the shot that we feel we deserve, that's good. We felt that the idea was strong enough to get us in the door, and you know what I mean, showcase what we can really do.
Yeah.
A couple months go by. Yeah, we have the gear, this and that. And when they pull us to the office and we have this idea of what we wanted to be, which was two badasses from Miami, Puerto Rican, well dressed, like ass kickers. And when they present us the idea, like, you think what the viral picture of the revival, the gimmick that they were going. Well, we had the exact same thing, and we have the gimmicks, we have the outfits, man. It's just, we were going to be the Puerto Rican Playboys.
Okay.
We were going to be like Hugh Hefner. We had the Hugh Hefner robe.
Right. Okay.
We were going to be like it was a mixture between Goldust and Hugh Hefner. It was black and gold wrestling gear with coins with our faces that says Puerto Rican Playboys. And me and people was like, oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, God. The Puerto Rican Playboys. Ooh. So we go talk to Vince. He goes, yeah, you guys are good looking. I feel that's a good fit for you guys. I was like, all right, boss. Whatever you want us to do, we'll do.
Yeah.
We were going to debut the following week. And then Vince calls us, yeah, we're not going to do the Puerto Rican Playboy. It might be too sexual. It's like, no shit. It's a PG era, you know what I mean? This is your guys' idea, yeah, from now on, you guys are going to sell me Puerto Rico. You guys are going to sell timeshares. I'm like, just whatever you want us to do, we'll do it. Just, we don't want to wear that Playboy stupid, I'm like, oh, Jesus. If you would have seen the pictures, I'm like, oh, it was just, and at that moment, you know what? Let's just phone it in, man. Let's just get paid and we'll be on our way out. We're better off out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then 2017 comes around WrestleMania in Orlando. We felt that our contract was going to be up in that summer. So I was like, you know what? Let's start planning for our career outside WWE, because we don't even feel that we fit in from a professional career standpoint. The money was great. Then I talked to my wife. We had everything ready. we knew we were going to get the call to be released, and then we get a call. I was with my wife. I said, "Hey, here it is. You wanna hear this?" I put it on speaker. I said, "Yeah. We need you to pack your bags. We need you to fly right now. You guys are going to SmackDown. You're gonna get drafted to SmackDown." I was like, "What? Oh, so we're not gonna let go? We only got a couple months left." "No, yeah, we have this great idea for you guys, and we're gonna." It's like, "All right, whatever." We go to SmackDown. That's when we ran in and beat the American Alpha. We laid him out, whatever. It's like, okay, this might be something fresh, something new, but we didn't have any high hopes. And I was like, I told people, this is gonna last 2 weeks. Sure enough, 2 weeks, we were doing nothing. But all of a sudden, they offered us a new three-year deal, which was double the money. I was like, well, I mean, I'll stay at catering for this amount of money. I'm in no rush. I'm not hurting. I'm not getting hurt. I'm not taking bumps. I'm home more often. I can give my son a really, really good education. Spend time with my wife. We travel. Yeah, I'll take your money if you're not going to use me. Hell yeah. And then Primo went down with a knee injury, and I had the shoulder injury. So I was like, we'll take it. Take it. I was like, yeah. So I was surprised that we lasted this long. So it's been about 5 years that we know that we're not even mentally, we're not there. We're checked out. So.
And it's like, just from watching as a fan, it's you guys were at your best when they just let you be you guys. When it was just Primo and Epico, there was no need to do the Los Matadores. There was no need to do the Shining Stars as basically travel agents. It was just, it's like if only they just let you carry on as yourselves.
Yeah, and it's happened with everybody. The same thing happened with the Usos in a way. It's like they were. At the beginning, they were just so bland, and they just try to fit in. And then when they let them loose, so just be you. Look at what they are. They're arguably the best tag team in the world right now. And same thing with New Day. They were about to pull the plug on them, and it was I think Kofi and Xavier Woods went to us. Just let us sink or swim. Let us be us. You know what I mean? If you let us be us, we'll be good. And then they go and they deliver. And I'm happy for them.
Is there anyone there? Oh, sorry.
No, but that doesn't happen to everybody. Some guys get that break, and some guys they just don't get a break. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Is there anyone there particularly, whether it's a tag team or a singles, where you thought like, if only they got the opportunity, that if they let them be themselves? Is there anyone particularly that jumps out who maybe didn't quite go as high as they could have gone because they weren't allowed to?
Zack Ryder. Look at his example. Like he had over 1 million followers on YouTube. He got over on his own, and then they pulled the plug on that. They told him, "Oh, you can't do the YouTube channel." They told him that he was a mark. I got the following, I got just let me be, and then when they push him, they just pushed him enough for him to get destroyed. They just buried him,
Yeah.
I don't rub somebody the wrong way, but it's just, that's the prime example of, they want you to make it, but then they don't want you to make it. So I'm like,
yeah, it was like that became like religious viewing for pretty much like 90% of wrestling fans, was waiting each week for the new edition of. It was just like, what's he going to do this week? And it was so entertaining. And there was kind of like a cup of coffee with the US title, and then the kind of love story with Cena, and then even it was pushed off the ramp by Kane, and that was kind of it. Then it was like, oh right, cool. Well, I feel like you kind of could have done a lot more with that guy, or at least given him the opportunity, and then it's down to him.
At least give him the opportunity to fail. If he fails, it's on him. But don't, just don't fail people because you think they're not going to work. Just give people the opportunity to fail. That's all. That's what I think is fair.
Yeah.
But
then it's down to them. You give them the opportunity, and it's down to them to sink or swim. But I think with Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona, I think now it's a case of, right, well, if he could do that while he was still with WWE, what can he do now? That's
God. The sky's the limit for him, and he knows it too. And he's proven it. That's the thing. He's proven it. It's just a matter of time,
Yeah, it's. I think we all look forward to that happening. And one thing that everybody did look forward to happening, and you touched on it then, was Carlito coming back. It seemed like a case of when, if not if. It was just like, when's Carlito going to come back? When are they going to do something like that? And for whatever reason, I don't know, it just seems like it was never meant to be, really. You talked about how it was so close at one point, but like as fans, even fans now are clamoring for Carlito to go back to WWE at some point, because that dude was so over at one point in time.
But then again, it's just it's one of those things. Like historically, they push something so much, but then it's like by design. As soon as you debut in WWE, they give you that initial push.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how over you get. You know, it has to meet their expectations. If you surpass them, no. It's not what you were supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what happened. It's not with Carlito, with a bunch of the guys. They give him that initial push, and they surpass the company's expectations. They just put the automatic brakes on them. And some of the boys know how to take it, and some of them they just don't, because they don't understand how you can do everything that you're asked for and more, and then all of a sudden they just put the brakes on. It's like it's really especially when money's involved too. You know what I mean? Like it messes your mind up. You know what I mean? Like you can make your debut, you get a hell of a push, you do WrestleMania, you do all those tours, you can make in a year close to $1 million. You know what I mean? And that initial push, you know, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
You see that and you believe in yourself. I think I can make that throughout 3 years that I'm going to be here in WWE. So you mentally set yourself for that, you know? And then all of a sudden your income goes from $900 to $1 million to $250,000. That's a big, you know.
Yeah.
That messes you up mentally, you know, because you know you've done it because you've earned the money, you know, but you just don't understand why they're not giving you the same opportunities you got that when you debuted, you know?
Yeah.
That's just that machine. That's the WWE way. So it
seems strange to me, but obviously, and to yourself and to most people, where it's like if someone's doing so well and getting to that point where they're earning that sort of money, it's clearly because they've earned to be in that spot to then either stop the momentum or to. And I think Carlito was a great example. Even I remember it was when Alberto Del Rio came back 3 years ago. Yeah, and that was it. There was all that talk of when it was going to be Cena with his open challenge on, I can't think which pay-per-view it was, and everybody kind of had an inkling that Cena was going away after that, so he's going to drop the title. So it was, who's it going to be? And I remember there was just this big buzz online about it could be Carlito, and obviously it was Del Rio, and that initially started well, and then that went a little bit, then there was the League of Nations a few months later, and that was kind of took the momentum out of all of the 4 guys involved in that.
Basically, they made that group to keep them happy, really. Yeah. Because all the 4 guys, they suffer the exact same fate. You know, they get that push, they surpass the company's expectations, they got over. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, what else do we have to do to get our spot? Oh, just throw them in a faction. You know, call it the League of Nations, and
they're all European. It's fine.
They're all European. It's fine. Yeah.
I think because obviously Sheamus had a couple of runs for the world title and Del Rio, but then you look at Wade Barrett is another great one where he was there. You just need to pull that trigger. And then you got Rusev.
There's a saying amongst some of the. I think this came from Carlito. You know, you get those sound like Rusev, Wade Barrett, Cesaro. You know, all those guys who really had that uphill. Yeah. You know, that push. And there's a saying, it's like, someone's getting that push. You know, you're getting that rocket in the back to go up. Yeah, but they put it upside down.
It's insane. Especially like Rusev's a great example of that guy was so hot for the longest time. And even then, when they cooled off on him and he dropped out, like Zack Ryder, it was this Rusev Day thing's going to take off. And that just went nuts. Yeah. And again, it clearly, in terms of it, just from the outside looking in, it looked like for the Office there was a ceiling, and regardless of how often and how loud the fans were chanting for Rusev Day, it's like, but we're only going to put you at this level on the card. And again, that's not someone else who's left now. So
yeah. But he'll do great. I mean, he's gonna tear it up on the indie scene. I mean, he's probably get picked up by another big company, and it's just a matter of time. Yeah.
Well, you look at him and you think surely that's the sort of talent where everybody's going to be after him. It's just a case of where he goes. There's going to be no shortage of offers, whether it's AEW, personally, I'd love to see a brief stint in the NWA. I think he could be great there. I think that'd be a nice fit. But then MLW is now a realistic. That's a international TV. We get MLW over here, obviously NWA's on. Yeah, so it's just these companies now that have got a global audience. Obviously, Impact, New Japan World, making New Japan accessible to everybody. So it's in one way, obviously, it sucks to be let go by WWE, but especially at a time when you can't really go anywhere right now because of the most unique times we're living in. But when things do start to get back to some sense of normalcy, there are so many realistic options on the table for talents. I mean,
for everybody,
Yeah, I mean, with yourself, what have you got anything you'd like to do, or is it a case of WWC for the foreseeable, or?
Well, I'll always be WWC because that's basically,
that's family.
It's a family company. It's where I was basically born in the wrestling industry, so it'll always be my home. But I'm excited for the future. I mean, I've always wanted to travel and do the big wrestling companies. Like that's my dream. Like I've always wanted to go to Mexico, the AAA. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I got the opportunity in 2009 to work for 01. I would love to go for New Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah, like all of the big companies. Like I would like to leave my mark in every company. I already left my mark in WWE. I was lucky enough to win the tag titles with Primo, so now it's just of going to for me the real wrestling companies, not just the entertainment companies. You know what I mean? So the future's bright. It's just a matter of time. I mean, hopefully this pandemic ends soon. As soon as that ends, I mean, it's going to be. Once you start seeing those names pop out of different companies, Rusev, Zack Ryder, Heath Slater. I mean, God.
Yes. Oh, what an entertaining dude Heath Slater is.
He's another one, who got this. But, and I'm sure some of the talent will be picked up back by WWE. It's just, it's business.
Yeah. With yourself, obviously you have the top title in WWC. You're the man. So do you see going forward, is it going to be a case of more of a singles, or again, is it going to, maybe if the chance comes up to team with Primo because you guys are so good together, is that, do you see it more of a singles now going forward then? Or?
In Puerto Rico, we focus more on our singles career. Me, Carlito, and Primo, we see more, because we have our own like little brand, our niche in the island. But globally, I think Carlito, Primo, and Epico, Carly, Eddie, and Orlando should be the way to go. We would love to show the world, all the wrestling fans, what we can do as a unit, us three. We've always dreamt about doing it since we were kids. We never really had the opportunity. Now we have the opportunity. So I think it'll be a really, really cool, a cool thing to do and very entertaining for the wrestling fans.
Yeah, and because when you joined WWE, well, when you went to the main roster from FCW, it was kind of just as Carlito was leaving. as he was leaving, so it's like we missed out on it then, which was a shame.
Yeah, he needed a break. He was asking for time off. They would never give it to him. So he's like, well, just let me go because I can't deal with this. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I feel like I should be here, or at least getting the opportunity to be here, but I'm just not getting it. So it was for him. It was just an uphill battle, and he was burnt out at the end. And I told him, it's like, you need a break, And that's all he wanted. All he wanted was a break. All he wanted was a few months off so he can recharge his batteries. But they would never give it to him.
Yeah,
which is a shame, So.
Of course, you're going to be a bit biased, being his cousin, but like, what do you think the ceiling was for him at that time? Do you think, like, realistically, if they'd have given the opportunity, he could have kind of been that main event star that everybody was hoping for him to be?
Well, he was there. I mean, at one point, he was the number 2 or number 3 selling shirt in the company.
Right.
So he was there, and they didn't pull the trigger on him. Instead, they put the brakes. He was wrestling John Cena. He beat John Cena in his debut. He was working with Edge at one time. He worked with Big Show. He worked with Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels,
He was there. But for some reason, something happened, and he just got used to put somebody else over, which I get it. I get it, but no, it was never paid back to him. You know what I'm saying? There's certain situations, circumstances that you just can't help. You're needed for a certain spot. He was that guy at the time, but it just happened that he got over so much at the beginning that when he put other people over, like, it kind of needed to be paid off, years on the road, which it never did.
Yeah.
And obviously, just as a talent, you just don't understand it. Professionally, your career, you envision yourself at a certain level. Then you just don't. It's hard to explain, because the money issue, where you want to be,
Yeah. But with the whole family thing, how was that for you when you first started to get into the business? I mean, it's one of the most legendary names in professional wrestling, the Colon family, the dynasty, the legend that is there, that's associated with that name. How was that as a young kid, that I guess pressure in a way, or responsibility to live up to that name?
At school, like, you get picked on and bullied quite a bit. You know, so you're the nephew of the legend Carlos Colon, so you should know how to fight. So you have to, you have to kind of live up for it. Even though you were 8 years old, you didn't know how to throw a punch. But you have to stand up and fight. You know, because if you don't stand up, then you're gonna be bullied for the rest of your life. You know, but it was, for me, it was a beautiful time. You know, because to have somebody you admire to be a sibling, your uncle. To me, it was it was an amazing experience, and I used to love going to the arenas and see him, as a fan. But getting the opportunity to go to the locker room and see those, oh my God, like No Mascaras, when he showed up to the arenas with that awesome mask, with the Halliburtons, the briefcase, it's like everything for me was just incredible. And see him get to the locker room, take the mask, some of the wrestlers' mask off. Some never took the mask off. For me, it was just like, wow. It's like, I really want to do this. It was just cool.
And you've had the chance to work under a mask several times during your career.
Yes, at the beginning, I wanted to be kind of, because I didn't know if I was any good. I didn't want to do the last name a disservice. It was just hard as it is to be a Colon. And Carlito was the champion in Puerto Rico. Then Eddie was wrestling with Rey Mysterio and tearing it up in Puerto Rico. Like, I don't want to be as people start getting tired of, oh, here comes the son. Oh, here comes the other. Here comes the nephew. Like, people are starting to get disgusted by it because of the fact, oh, these guys are getting it easy. You know what I mean? And I get that, why people feel that way. I absolutely get it. But then again, at the same time, there's a pressure because having that last name and that connection opens you the door. That's true. It helps you get opportunities. But if you don't deliver with your last name, that door is only open one time. And you see it with many second generation wrestlers who only get the one opportunity and that's it. Which is what people don't get. Like, we only get one shot to prove that we can either sink or swim. I see other wrestlers who they don't have the hookup, or they're not a member of a legendary wrestling family, and they can shit the bed once and then they have another opportunity, which is for me, it's like, oh, well, that sucks, because I only, because you have the stigma, that last name. So it's either you sink or you swim, because the word spreads easily in this business, So for me, I want to kind of to show that I can do it without the last name, you know what I mean? And then when somebody says, just you're good enough, you just be a Colon. That's who you are. Don't deny who you are. Like, I never wanted to deny who I was. It's just a matter of fact that I was just nervous. I was like, would I make it or So that's the reason why I decided to use a mask.
Yeah. We kind of mentioned FCW briefly before. Yeah. That was obviously where you first ended up when you went to WWE. And I believe you're involved in some form of the Ascension briefly before that.
I wish, if I think I have it somewhere around here. I was part of the original Ascension.
Ricardo Rodriguez, was it? As the kind of the mouthpiece?
Ricardo was going to be the mouthpiece, yeah. It was me, Eddie Guerrero's daughter, Shaw.
Right.
Connor. Is that his name? Connor? Yeah. And what was the Bram from TNA? Really good guy. Tom Latin. Really good guy. I loved him. And we were the original four. And we had promos to send up to WWE. We even did an interview. We were ready to go to WWE as a unit. But then Bill DeMott, I remember, calls us up. Hey, WWE loves the gimmick. They're going to go with it. It's a matter of time. But how would you guys feel if WWE wanted to disband the group or take one of you guys out for the main roster? I'm like, well, as much as it hurts, we all want to get there. The point is getting to WWE. How do we get there? It doesn't matter. The Ascension gimmick is just a means to getting there. You know,
Yeah.
he goes, well, okay, good. That's a good answer. But because you're going to WWE next week, I'm like, what? Me? This is the only gimmick I got. I don't have anything. You know, yeah. I don't think I even had gear made from when they called me up. Like, you know, I didn't have a gimmick. I'm like, Jesus. So I did 2 weeks of that, and then I debuted with Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was part of the original for Ascension. If I find that, because I have an 8x10, I'll send it to you so you
yeah, awesome. Yeah. That'd be brilliant. So what did like that original Ascension look like in comparison to what we originally saw with Connor and Bram before Bram got released? Because I mean, he's tearing it up in TNA now, just as Tom Latimer. He's such an entertaining guy to watch.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what did that original incarnation look like of the Ascension?
I guess it was, well, we were doing interviews with Dusty Rhodes, and Ricardo comes in because he wants to work on his promo. He's like, yeah, I want to be kind of like an agent, like a sports agent. And I don't know, because I've never seen these shows. I think he wanted to do something like the show Entourage.
All right, okay, yeah.
And then somebody mentioned something like he was a sports agent. And we did the interview. He was sitting down, and he goes, yeah, let me introduce you my signees. One is from Puerto Rico, blah, blah, blah. Here's Orlando Colon. This one is a daughter of legendary Eddie Guerrero, Shaul Guerrero. This guy is a beast, Connor. And then this guy is from England. He's one of the greatest Britons, whoever, whatever. And here's Tom. And then there's something that Dusty liked about the way it was presented, the way we presented ourselves in the ring. That it kind of reminded him of the show True Blood. So it's like, kind of, we turn off the lights, baby, and there's a little bit of darkness. You guys look like vampires. It was like, all right, we went with it. Then the next week, we kind of dressed in black. We all did an interview where our heads were like pointing down, and then I would look up, say something, put my head back down. Then Tom would look up at the camera, say something, then look down, and then it kind of like a snowball effect. They kept like, oh, it gets awesome. And then Dusty kept putting some input. And then it grew into this thing. And we started working around FCW as a whole, as a unit with the Ascension gimmick. And it was taken off here in FCW. I mean, for what it was.
Yeah.
And then it got disbanded. And then more people... We put more people in it, and some people went out, and then it was Victor and Connor who debuted in WWE.
Yeah. Just like when that first appeared on NXT TV, just with the two, with Bram as, what was it, Kenneth Cameron, I think was the name.
Yeah, Kenneth Cameron,
Connor, yeah. It's like those two, that was great. And obviously that guy could talk his ass off. So it's like, it just came across, and it was a little bit different because it was slightly kind of vampire-ish. Like, are these dudes supposed to be vampires or not? I'm not sure, but either way, I'm quite entertained, and they look like badasses. And even when Kenneth Cameron, Bram, Tom left, and they replaced him, it still carried on NXT as that kind of badass unit. It's just when it went to the main roster, it was like, no, they just kind of making it, and kind of admitting that these guys are like Road Warrior ripoffs or Demolition ripoffs, and then having them just to get beat up by the legends and stuff. It's like, oh, you're not really doing these guys any favors.
No, but they don't really believe also in tag team wrestling, and I was told that from the moment I arrived in FCW, and it's just a business decision that goes behind it. It's just tag teams, it costs more. You have, instead of flying one guy, you have to fly two guys. To put one match, you have to pay 4 guys. It's a business aspect that takes effect here, but they don't believe in, and they told me that 11 years ago. So I knew from the get-go that tag team wrestling wasn't going to be given the spotlight that it should get. You know what I mean? The respect that it should be getting.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that somebody else is doing it. AEW is doing it. Giving tag team wrestling its spotlight what it the justice that it deserves.
Yeah. I think like when done right, there's nothing better than tag team wrestling. Like I kind of grew up on that era where it was like the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, like the Fabulous Rougeaus, the Rockers, Demolition, Legion of Doom, the Steiners, who were just so good to watch. And I like the Hollywood Blondes as well. All these teams, the Tully and On, where like they could main event a show for you. These teams, and it wouldn't be out of the ordinary. And now it just seems, well, clearly you've said there, at WWE, it's not a priority anymore.
It's not. I mean, it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take gonna be like the women's revolution. They never believed in that either. They believed that women's wrestling was good-looking girls, big boobs, big ass, and a cute face.
Yeah.
It was Paige and AJ Lee that started kind of that women's revolution. Then the snowball effect took over, and I'm happy for the girls, But I don't see that happening for tag team wrestling in WWE for a while,
And even with the women's revolution stuff, because it was, I think Paige and AJ Lee was a great turning point for it, and even as well to an extent, AJ Lee and Caitlyn before that as well were doing some great stuff, and then the fans started the hashtag of give Divas a chance, and WWE kind of grabbed onto it like, this is our idea. Like, well, I don't think it was. You were given the 30-second matches.
No, it was never their idea. You had great talent like Eve Torres, Michelle McCool, all the Victoria, Mickey James, but they never, Melina. They never did really much anything. They were just good-looking girls. Unfortunately, that's the way the office saw them, But there was so much more that those girls could offer. There's so much more, and I'm glad that. Better late than never, in my opinion. It just sucks all those girls that, didn't get the recognition that they should have, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Eve Torres is a big one that didn't really get those spotlight matches. Well, she did in terms of the WrestleMania moments, but not in terms of being able to showcase how good she was in the ring. I mean, Michelle McCool managed to get a few chances to actually show she was good in the ring, I think. But yeah, Eve never really did. It was
Beth Phoenix,
Beth Phoenix, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and Natalia. But so many times they've done the things they've done with Natty, where it's like her gimmicks that she farts a lot. It's like, why are you doing this? It's like you've got this again, the legendary name, the Hart family, the only female trainee in the dungeon, and you've got her on TV farting rather than putting on like clinics for 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Baffles me, dude. Absolutely baffles me. And on the tag team front, it's like the fact that the Revival or the Revolt as they are now, or what FTR, whatever they call themselves, seemingly left because it wasn't the case of the money. It's like, you keep offering us all this money. We want to see something good in tag team wrestling. Yeah. And it's like fair play to those guys to take that stand of like, no, we just want to go somewhere and wrestle. And
it's tough. That decision for them is tough. One thing is to do it when you're a single man, you know what I mean? You don't have a family. But when you have a family, and I believe one of them or both of them do have kids, it's tough to put, because the money that WWE pays you is really good. I mean, that's why we stayed, and to save those guys, for them to say, no, keep your money, I'll go elsewhere. I know, that's a tough decision, Probably not on them, but for their families,
Yeah.
Like, my wife would say, just where are you going to get that money? What company's going to pay you that money? Where are you going to get a guaranteed check, direct deposit every Saturday? Nowhere,
Yeah.
So that's, for me, that was a struggle, because they suck the passion out of you, they suck the life out of what you love, but you have to pay your bills, and the money that they're paying you is really damn good. So I'm like, damn, take the money,
What was it like when you said like they sucked the passion out of you? When you, that kind of like year before the release, when you got to go back to Puerto Rico to work for WWC, how was it that first show back there? Like from being kind of not used or on the shelf or jobbed out essentially at times, or selling timeshares or the Los Matadores, to then go back to WWC. Did that does that straight away kind of reignite that passion and makes you realize like, this is why I got into wrestling in the first place?
Yes, definitely. The Puerto Rican crowd for me is it's unique. There's no place in the world to wrestle, but for me, better than Puerto Rico. And I might sound biased because I'm Puerto Rican, but you can ask most of the talent that's wrestled in Puerto Rico, they would say it's one of the hottest crowds that they've ever performed in. The way like the people that get involved, like when the babyface starts doing the comeback, the people start shouting. When you throw a punch, they go hoo-ah, 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 and then when the heel finally takes a bump, it erupts, and that's when it's hard to describe. People they get really passionate. I remember when I turned heel, there was this old lady who's been a fan for over 50 years. She was a fan of my uncle, a fan of Carlito and Eddie, and I was probably the first. I was the first of the family to turn heel in Puerto Rico. Carlito already had done it in WWE, but I was the first one to do it actually in Puerto Rico. And in the building, I remember they would. cardboard. The cups were made out of cardboard.
Yeah.
And they would put rocks in it and throw it to you as a heel. There's horror stories about heels in Puerto Rico hating because of that. Yeah. Well, she went to the bathroom. She pissed in it and threw it at me. And I remember hitting it, hit the back of my head. I was like, oh, this kind of stinks. And she's laughing and looking. I was like, oh, she did it. She pissed on me. But that's. I guess that's the beauty of that means that whatever you're doing is working. Because as a heel, you're supposed to be getting under people's skin, and that's what a lot of the talent don't get. They want to be a cool heel. Well, that really doesn't sell tickets. You got to be hated for people to say, I want to pay a ticket to see John Cena slap Orlando. You know what I mean? They got to hate somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do you think it's harder these days to be a proper heel because it is I mean I guess that you could trace it back to maybe to Montreal where the cat was kind of let firmly out the bag, the curtain was pulled back, and even though people had inklings for a little while, it was kind of the inner workings were starting to be revealed a bit, and so now when somebody is a good heel, it's kind of the fans will see it and they'll kind of maybe boo them, but also there's this, oh no, I really like this guy because he's really good at being an asshole. Right. And it's hard to properly get boos, I think. Someone like MJF in AEW is a great example. I was
about to mention him, yeah.
That dude's just ridiculous.
There's an art to this. People don't see it, It's like, oh, I'm going to cheer him because he's a heel. He's playing the bad guy. That's not, MJF does it so well. Yeah. Even when you start cheering him because he's the bad guy, I like him because he's the anti-establishment, but I like it. But he finds a way to make us, oh, what a freaking asshole. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm cheering for him, and it's like, well, that's the art, and he does it so well, that he's going to get very far in this business because he gets it. And to get it at that young of an age, that he's very young, but he's going to go very, very far in this business if he keeps it up.
Yeah, I think he's like just turned 24 maybe. And it's like, And I think with someone like that is the first time I saw him, which was on MLW, it's like straight away is, this guy's a complete prick. And you understand that everything that he's about straight away. There's no blurred lines. There's no, we need a few weeks to see his character. It's like, no, just literally tuned in one episode of MLW, saw this guy, was like, this guy's a complete ass in the best way possible. But I think there is that I guess you can maybe trace it back to the Attitude Era where it became more about being the cool heel and selling merch and getting that cool pop but then that diminishes your baby faces because if the heels are getting cheered, then why would people want to cheer? I don't know. Like in WCW, it would be like Hogan before Hogan turned. It was like people were booing Hulk Hogan because they preferred the cool heels at the time, which would be Nash and Hall that just came in and Hulk obviously joined them. But I think it's hard to be a babyface and it's hard to be a heel these days.
Hard. Yeah, it is hard. But that's where we have to work hard. I mean, if we can't do that, then we should call it quits, because if we don't emote, we don't get people to get excited for anything or get, have people get behind you. It's the heel's job. It's the heel's job to make the babyface look better. It's the heel's job to make the fans like the babyface. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of guys get. A lot of the talent is, no, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna beat the crap out of them and I'm gonna focus on looking good myself. Well, you're not gonna do the match of service. Yeah. You know what I mean? My job when I go out there is to outsell the babyface. I'm gonna try to make him look like $1 million to the best of my ability. Because if I do that, I get over in the process. You see, heels should never win. Should never win clean. That's the way I was taught. A good heel should have one of these three qualities. If you have all three, you're a top heel. A heel should be a coward, a liar, and a cheater. If you take those three elements, you take one, you're a good heel. You get two, you're a great heel. If you have all three, my God, you're out of this world. And MJF has all three.
Yeah, it's like MJF. When you're talking there, going through it all, the first thing that comes to mind in my head is Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
It's perfect too, yeah.
That guy was, Rick Rude, Russian Rick Rude. It was like, just ticking all these boxes, and then I guess like Bobby Heenan as well. Just man, I always find it weird when Flair had turned babyface. It's like this kind of feels weird. I'm supposed to be cheering for Ric Flair when he's been like the consummate heel for decades. It felt like at one point.
Yep.
I guess one thing, so I'm just wary of the time that we're coming up for an hour, and I don't want to keep you too long. And one thing I realized we've not actually addressed yet is, I guess, the elephant in the room, which is the release from WWE. How did that come about? We spoke to Leo Rush the other day, and he said that he had to ring in to find out about it. You hear other talents were getting sent text messages. What was your particular circumstances like on that day?
Well, we knew once the pandemic hit. This is a business. We can't think. The moment you sign a WWE contract, the first thing that should come to mind is the release is coming soon. Nothing lasts forever. Those guys, for me, it's like those guys, I never saw it coming. Well, you signed a contract, in this line of business, you're lucky if you last 4 or 5 years. You're lucky. I'm going on 10. I was like, I knew this day was coming. I'm waiting for this day to come, So it was a Wednesday morning. I was taking my son for a walk around the neighborhood, and I get a text. Yeah, make sure you watch Vince's video because he has a message for everybody. And I go, okay. They never sent anything like that. So I watched the video, and it's exactly verbatim the way that it showed. It came out online, word by word. It was exactly that, but Vince was just talking. After that video, I saw that video. I knew it was just, I'm gonna get the call in the next half hour, 40 minutes. So I was walking back home. I told my wife, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the call today. About 2 hours later, I'm playing with my son, and I get the text. We need to talk, pal. Please call me back. All right. I knew it was going to happen. Yep. Oh, okay. No, I can't get bitter. I was there for 10 years. I thanked them for the time. I never had any. Even though, from a career standpoint, yes, I could have done better. Yes, it could have given me better opportunities. But then again, it's not all on them. It's all on the talent as well. Because nobody is a saint in this business. You know what I mean? We all have flaws. You know what I mean? So I thank them for the opportunity. I have no ill will towards them. I apologize for the time that we caused trouble, me and Primo, which were quite a few times. But we had a good laugh. I said, hey, thank you. They said, hopefully we do business down the road. I said, yeah. If everything, the time is right, everything falls into place. Yeah, I don't have any problem with them, But it happened. They sent a text, and they let go 20, 40, 30 people that day. So it's hard. It was a hard day, not just for us. It was a hard day for them because they had to let go also of people in the office too. We all heard about the 24 or 30 talent that got released, but they let go of a bunch of people in the office as well. So it's just a crappy day for everybody, and I don't wish them any ill will because that was just a hard position for them to be in. It's a business at the end of the day.
And you said some of the troubles you and Primo may have caused them. Are there any you can tell us about that are kind of clean to air?
No, it's just when every time we went overseas, they buy us. We should be a company that big shouldn't have the talent flying economy. That's just my opinion. And they want us to portray that we're superstars, that we're celebrities, WWE superstars. You know what I mean? We can't be flying with on the back of the bus. It's like we're on the road for 4 to 5 days out of the week. Over 250 days out of the year. We're away from our families and loved ones. It's hard to sit on a plane in a middle seat for 10 hours. So they will buy. Long story short, they will buy the tickets. They will buy. If we're going to England from LA, that's about a 10-hour flight. So they will buy blocks. They will buy 10 tickets with 10 names, and then they were under one reservation, right? So as time went by, we made sure we weren't there 2 days. We don't want to get heat with the boys. But once we figured that we've been there long enough, 6, 7 years in the company, we called the office. Hey, can you separate us from the group? Oh yeah, we'll do it. Well, they never did it. It's like, all right. So we will go ahead and pull our names from off the reservation so we can get upgraded. Well, I guess they said that every time somebody pulled out of the reservation, it would mess up the seat assignments. So a bunch of the boys would complain, I got stuck in the middle seat. Oh, blame it on the Puerto Ricans. I'm looking after my body. If the company's not going to look after my body, then I'm sure it's all going to do it because you're not doing it. So, and we told the boys, hey, boys, pull out of the reservation so you can upgrade, you know. It's you want to be stuck in a plane in economy for 12 hours? I don't. And there was a couple times where there was a few times where they bought us business class seats, which was great for them, you know. But there were a bunch of times where we did it on our own. We're only looking after our bodies. Nobody else is going to do it, you know. So that caused a little bit of trouble. So
yeah,
it was
you're all big guys. It's like for like a normal person, it's tough sometimes being on flights, let alone like these big hefty wrestlers.
I can get it for like, you know, I'm 6 feet tall. You know, I'm big, but I'm not that big. But I've seen guys, Braun Strowman, he was on a Europe tour. It's like, there's no way he can fit on an economy seat. Physically, he just doesn't fit. After a long 2-week tour, I see him in economy, like pissed off, hurting, people complaining because he's invading their space. Like, he doesn't fit. He's a giant, you know? And I just don't get that mentality. It's like, just take care of your talent. You know, just take care. That's all it takes. You know, it's a write-off anyway for the company. So I don't know what, you know, you spend the money elsewhere. Why not spend it on talent? You know, if you take care of the talent will perform better. They will give their heart and soul for you, you know?
Yeah, I guess you know, especially like these times now where they have the huge Fox deal. There's the Saudi Arabia deal, which is bringing in all this money. Yeah. Did you ever get the opportunity to perform on one of the Saudi shows? I can't remember.
I did one in 2015 before we started doing the pay-per-views there. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
It was cool. We had a good time. It's a beautiful country. I mean, the culture. It sucks what happened there, but you know, it's a beautiful. I mean, for me, it's just a beautiful country. You know, we couldn't go anywhere because it was. I guess we were at high risk for any terror attacks or stuff like that. So we just hung around the resort. But for me, it was just beautiful. They took care of us, took us out on a boat. We went sight. You know, it was all right. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, the people there, they're good people. Now the government, I don't know, because you know, obviously some stuff happened. It's not my opinion to, you know, my spot to say. But I mean, when I went there, I think the talent had a good time. But that was before the incident happened too.
Yeah.
So I can't, you know, I don't know what happened after because I didn't go on those tours.
Yeah. Was there ever any talk during your time on the main roster of pushing you giving you a singles run?
No, it was never talked about. No, we knew from the get go we were going to be a tag team. So we knew there was a, you know, we know a tag team. They don't push tag team wrestling. So we just wanted to be on TV here and there for what it was. We wanted to be relevant for whatever tag team division they had that they were doing, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we wanted, you know?
Yeah, it just seemed like maybe if, I don't know, when Primo went down with an injury, you think, oh, let's give this guy a shot. I feel bad for, I can't remember which Uso it is that's injured at the moment, but the other Uso who's active, it's only just turned up on SmackDown this week, but for like the last month or so, it's almost like, well, if your partner's injured, that's it, you can't wrestle either.
That's how it was, yeah. When and a few years ago, WrestleMania San Francisco, his brother, the week of WrestleMania, he tore his shoulder up too. But he was like, it's my first or second WrestleMania. There's no way I'm missing it. And he worked that match with not being cleared. You know, so we were able to work it to where, because they're twins, that's a good thing. They had to face me. So the one stayed in the corner. Even when they tagged in and out, they figured out a way to do the switch where the one did all the work. And the one that was hurt stayed in the corner. You know, which was, but when you're hurt, you know, just stay home, you know. But that's, for me, I loved it because I spent time with my son. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. How's the homeschooling going anyway at the moment?
Oh, crazy. I'm in my son's room. I set it up. I'm cleaning it up now because it was just a big mess with all classroom stuff. You know, it's all right. I cherish the time that I'm spending with him because of all the times that I've been on the road. Yeah. So we've gotten a lot closer. You know, me and him, me and my wife. So it's just, you know, it's good times. You got to make the best out of every situation. You know? Yeah, definitely. Especially for you guys who, like you said, have been on the road so long and so many times and miss certain moments. So I guess that's the one good thing to come out of all of this. Yeah. But it's when you look back at the 10 years you were with WWE, what's the particular highlight for you? Is there a couple of things that stand out? I mean, I'm guessing that the tag title win would be a big one. Maybe the WrestleManias. WrestleMania Miami, the first one meant a lot to me because it was my first and my personal situation that I was going through. My wife had a health scare. She had to have
Right.
surgery 2 days before WrestleMania. So, but that morning she surprised me. She flew from Orlando to Miami, which was a short, it was a short flight, but she made it to WrestleMania. So that had it could have been, her health situation could have gone really bad south quick, and I had to perform at WrestleMania. So it's like seeing her there, it was like, oh my God,
Nice.
So that was really, that for me, that was my WrestleMania moment. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, special. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
What's next for you then? What can you tell us about what could be next for Orlando Colon?
The world, man. Tony Montana would say, the world and everything in it. The wrestling world. We want to conquer Mexico. We want to conquer Europe. We want to conquer Japan.
Yeah.
We just want to entertain the people, man. We just want to show what we're capable of in that wrestling ring, and just give the people something to talk about, something to forget about the daily hassles, of life. This whole crappy situation with the pandemic. We just want to be able to help the people, take their mind off of that, even if it's for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
That's what we do at the end of the day. We're just trying to entertain people and make people forget about whatever they're going through in life, or help them through that moment. That's what it's all about.
So we're going to get 3 Colognes running wild across the world, brother. Sounds good. Are there any other Colognes that could be on the way as well, or is it just the 3 of you?
Right now, it's just the 3 of us, I think.
Yeah.
My other cousins are older than us. I think they want to do this. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, before we really go, Orlando, how can people keep up to date with what you're with what you're going to be up to then? It's social media plug time.
Yes, Twitter. Let me look, because I don't even know my handle, because I'm now getting into technology. I've never been a big. Instagram is Epico Cologne. I got to change that. Twitter is at WWE Epico. I got to change that. I'm working on some projects too. Hopefully down the road I can come out and announce them. Hopefully it'll be for the people. For people to know more about us, get to know what our daily life is about. Just interact better, because in this day and age, people can be connected to whoever they like, their celebrities or movie stars or professional wrestlers or athletes. So we want to take advantage of that, and give a piece of our heart to the fans.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for giving us so much time. It's been great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us at WhatCulture Wrestling, all the podcast channels. You can follow me at Culture Left Peg on the Twitter. And until next time, see you. Goodbye.